Hello, and thank you for watching this video on my needs analysis for classroom technology training at the Virginia Science and Technology campus of the George Washington University. I was approached by the interim manager of operations at the Academic Technologies Department, that's Dave Giacalone, to perform a classroom technology training to help decrease the amount of support tickets that we're receiving on campus with academic technologies. So the first thing that I did as a part of this needs analysis was to conduct an interview. I went through with Dave and we talked about what the measurable goals of this needs analysis could be, what he was expecting, and I also made sure to mention a couple of the other options that might occur as a result of this needs analysis. After that interview, I also reviewed the existing data, the extant data, that we already had in relation to our support of the staff and faculty. That was the support tickets that we had on campus and the calendar appointments for pre-booked support from the instructors and the staff members. After this, I performed a survey of the staff and faculty. I was very surprised to get 96 responses on that survey, so I was very happy to get lots of data. After that, we held focus groups, both with the staff of the Academic Technologies Department and with the staff and faculty that we were looking to support with this potential training solution. Once I'd gathered all of that data, I analyzed it and put together my results. 4 valuable things that I discovered while doing this. The first one is make sure to write your questions carefully. Just because it makes sense to you when you're writing it for, say, a survey or a focus group. Just because it makes sense to you at the time does not necessarily mean it's going to make sense to the respondent when they're responding to it. One good example of this is in a Likert style question that's 1 to 5, very, very likely to not likely. You want to make sure that you are very careful about how you label those things as to not confuse the client, and when you're interpreting the data, take into account that the scale is not perfect. Another really important thing is to set proper expectations with the client. A client is likely to be expecting a certain result, but that's not always going to be the case when you get the data and analyze it. It might end up being that a non-training solution might be the right way to go, and setting that expectation up front is a really good way to make sure that the client isn't disappointed when you present your results. Another thing I learned is not to be afraid to ask your colleagues for help. If you have people in your office that can provide some kind of assistance, never turn that down. You're not in this alone. It's great to get help from other people. For instance, I got help from one of my colleagues in writing some of the questions for the focus groups and the surveys. I had written most of them, but they were able to provide me some very nice feedback. I also got some help from other offices in terms of sending out the surveys, which is why I was able to get such a great response on my surveys. So that was a great lesson to learn. And finally, the best lesson I can say is there's no such thing as too much data. You can gather a whole lot of data and some of it might not be useful, but when you're analyzing it, the more data you have, the more often you're going to be able to draw those links between the data. And the stronger those links are, and the more numerous those links are, the stronger your case is going to be in the end. Thank you very much for watching this video, and have a nice day.